Labyrinth just got some amazing support, so let's check out this heavy trap variant. If you still need a beautiful playmat, go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code Solemn for a discount. There's also beautiful deck boxes even with this design, so get 10% off with the code Solemn. There's also a variant here with the furniture, so then you play way more Labyrinth cards. It has a way better grind, but it is less instantly disgusting, whereas with stuff like, I mean, you know, these kind of cards, you can randomly auto-win a bit more. So it's up to you. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see the furniture heavy Labyrinth version as well. So first of all, we have triple Maxi because Maxi is broken. Now I will say this is one of the decks where you could argue that you might not want to play Maxi. Maybe you would rather play something like a Lava Golem or a Sphere mode in this slot, so that way you can just wait for your opponent to build their board and then break it instantly with something like that. So there's an argument for that. Personally though, I really like Maxi because every deck is playing Ash, and Ash actually hurts Labyrinth a lot. If you get ashed on Welcome or Big Welcome, you're feeling really bad. So by at least having Maxi, you know, they're ashing one of the two, but not both. If that argument is strong enough for you, you can play Maxi. If not, you can play something else. Then we have 2 Ariana. This card is just really solid in order to get our engine going, but I don't want to play more because this is a trap deck. Every single card that is not playable in your hand is going to make your deck so much weaker than a typical combo deck. You know, most combo decks and so forth, they are generating a bunch of value out of one card. Trap decks are usually going to have to be able to set a bunch of cards and gain value. So if you're stuck with multiple Ariana, multiple Heavenly Lord, multiple Shifter, luckily it's at 2, and so forth, you really don't want that. So for that reason, only 2 Ariana, because we also have like a bunch of other good starters, including the Lord of the Heavenly Prison anyway. With that being said, it is really cool to have an Ariana in deck still, because that way you can do some really neat big welcome and welcome tricks. But you will see that actually in the replay later. Then we are playing Double Dimension Shifter. I think Tyr is still the arguably best or second best deck in Master Duel right now, and so being able to just randomly shifter them is really strong. Pride right now also loves to use the whole angler thing, so if you can already shut that off, that's at least something. If they're committing into the sprint play, randomly shiftering them there can randomly end the turn. They would have to have, you know, open something like a red or a carrot to stop that from happening. So for that reason, Shifter is still pretty solid. Then we have one lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. Now this is the boss mommy, but I will say that it is an awful draw. You really want to have this in your deck so that you can then summon it with Welcome or Big Welcome. But it is an incredible card. It stops your opponent from actually responding to your traps. So you know actually that if you activate a Welcome or a Big Welcome and it sticks, lovely hits the field, you can no longer get ashed or belled on your other traps. It can also put a normal trap from your graveyard back to your field every single turn. So if you are against something like Exo Sister and you get like even one dimensional barrier in rotation, once this big lovely hits the field, you have a D barrier every turn and they can never play the game again. You can also, you know, call Fusion against Tearlaments and so forth. And then finally, it also has a really painful either hand rip or pop, depending on the game stage. You will also see that in the replay. That hand rip hurts a lot. Next, we have the brand new card, Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. And I was lucky enough to craft a royal finish. So that's really exciting for me. I absolutely love this deck. This has a bunch of effects. First of all, while you control a set card, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it has destruction protection, and spoiler alert, you're going to see that in action in the replay as well, so stick around for that. But it can also not be targeted, and that is really relevant. I've played a lot against Labyrinth this past season, and not being able to target this card is crazy, especially because a bunch of tier cards actually target. Perlerino targets, Sulik targets, Meta Noise targets, Kaleidoheart targets, Dragostupelia targets. All these cards are targeting, and so this card, as long as you have a set card, is just so annoying to out for them. Now, of course, that's not all. It also says if a Labyrinth card or effect or a normal trap card was activated this turn except Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. So if she's in your hand and you've used a trap, boom, she just comes out. That's why she's not a brick, unlike the Lovely right here. Then the final effect is when a normal trap card is activated, quick effect, you can set one normal trap with a different name directly from your deck. And what's really important about this effect is the when. Now this might seem boring. This is typical Yu-Gi-Oh! lawyer moment right here. This can miss timing. So if you activate a trap card and your opponent chains something, anything, Lady can no longer respond to the trap card. So when you're playing against someone who actually knows what Labyrinth does, they will often keep certain interactions in their hand or in their graveyard or wherever just ready, so that whenever you activate a trap card, they can chain block the Lady so she can't respond. That's a really, really important thing in the Labyrinth matchup. And so you also need to be aware of that. You need to know when you play against a good player, damn, if they have a certain interaction, they are saving it to chain block this Lady. So that's something you also want to be playing around if possible. But so yeah, this effect is absolutely crazy. It means you can actually play one-off normal traps and randomly fetch them from the deck. We've also seen that used a lot with cards like Eradicator Epidemic Virus right here, which can then be searched and just randomly blow people out. Now, personally, I don't think now is the time to play this card because certain decks in the meta right now, like Sprite and Tier, don't actually get blown out by this card quite as much as I would like. Now, once we have Kashtira in the format, this card nukes them. This card destroys them. But so for now, I'm not running it. Now, if you are liking that card, of course, you can ram it in right now, and you can actually notice that all of these are darks with enough attack, so you can absolutely just virus your opponents, but I don't think now is the time for it. Then we have 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This card right here has been a mainstay for a lot of trap decks, if you remember me playing Eldritch on this channel as well. So this gives protection to all of your traps and then can also fetch specific traps. Now, why is this card so good in the trap-heavy build for Labyrinth? It's because the main issue that this deck has is either not having Engine, because it drew like a bunch of good traps but no welcome or big welcome, or it has only Engine, where it has like Arianes and Ladies and welcomes and big welcomes, but not the other traps to start messing around with your opponent. Lord of the Heavenly Prison is the only card in the deck that is both of them. Lord can either fetch your welcomes or it can fetch you your other traps. And this way, Lord is basically like the ultimate bridge between the two. Now, of course, again, it's a trap deck. I do not want to be bricking on multiples ever, so that's why this is a 2-off. But again, we have 2 Ariana, good starters. We have 2 Lord of Heavenly, good starters. We have 2 Lady. I know this is a hot take, but I think 2 Lady right now is pretty good because that way you're not hitting on multiples. And again, we have so many ways to get to Engine, so it should be enough. But if you want to play more, you absolutely can. Then we have triple Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Prosperity is sadly limited, and I'm not that big of a fan of Duality in comparison to it. Now, you can still add this if you notice, damn, I'm maybe bricking too often, or you notice, damn, I don't really like Extravagance. Sure, you know, you can try a combination, but I'm really liking Extravagance. I like to have a wider amount of traps on this field. So for that reason, Extravagance and then 1 Prosp. Of course, I would like to play 3 Prosp instead, but I simply can't. Then we have Torrential Tribute. This is basically like a really bad version of the Ruma Cannon. And of course, it's also searchable within your deck, so I like to have access to just that one. But again, every normal trap is searchable. Then we have triple Compulsory Evacuation Device. This is probably like the easiest form of removal that doesn't require anything else and also doesn't destroy. So against Steer, you can randomly just send them back. Against Branded, you can send back the Mirror Jade without it wiping your field. So for that reason, I just like the fact that it can basically mess with your opponent without having too many downsides. Then we have triple D-Barrier. I really like D-Barrier because there are still quite a few decks who right now get destroyed by it. Like if you do this on Tier, while they can afford to do Xyz and Link plays, it at least outs their Perlerino, because at least like the Perlerino can only trigger now with Keldos and Bedoras, which is a bit easier. If you shifted them and now you D-Barrier for Xyz, they probably can't really do that much either, because you at least got rid of like the Trident and Zeus plays. Of course, against Branded, it's an auto win. Against Exo Sister, it's an auto win. But I still quite like it. It's also one of those traps that you can flip all the time, so Lady can always respond to something. But if you notice, damn, this is dead too often, sure, you can replace it with something else. I'm just not playing Terrors of the Overroot because there's no Kashtira. I don't even know if Terrors of the Overroot is actually in the game already. Let's check that out. Yeah, Terrors of the Overroot is actually in the game, but this is going to be really good once we have Kashtira in the game. Right now, we don't, though. Then triple Evenly Matched. I think Evenly Matched is really solid into a lot of stuff. Like against Sprite, if they don't have Carrot, this completely blows them out. Against a Tier, if they don't have Crime. Against Lab itself, if they're playing the heavy trap version, this also hurts a lot. So there's just a lot of decks right now that do not like getting even lead. And also, this deck really needs those non-engine slots that blow blow people out. You can't just afford to ash them once, you know, you really need to just wipe everything at once. So stuff like Sphere Mode, stuff like Super Poly, stuff like Lava Golem, those kinds of cards are really good, but singular hand traps, not so much, except of course Maxi, because that is just, you know, insane. Now with 2 Dogmatica Punishment, this is just a really solid form of removal. Now I will say, I'm not playing the best targets for it. You will notice my extra deck looks like shit. I'm well aware of that. I just really don't want to spend the UR material crafting multiple Ntss, crafting multiple of Bucephalus and so forth. So I'll show you what you should be doing if you have all the crafting material, but of course right now my Dogmatica Punishments are not going to be as good as yours. Then we have Triple Welcome Labyrinth. This is of course to get all of our Labyrinth plays started. This is basically special summoning any Labyrinth monster from the deck. It's like Rhoda on steroids. And then we have Big Welcome. So this is a new one. This basically special summons a Labyrinth monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, but then you have to return a monster to the hand. Now, while this may seem like bad because you're minusing your board kind of, there's actually a lot of really cool plays you can also do with that. But again, I will show you that in the replay. Some sneaky little things you can do with lovely Ariana and so forth, you're gonna see. Now, it also has a hidden effect that people often miss, and that is that you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Fiend monster you control, or if you control a level 8 or higher Fiend monster, you can target one card your opponent controls and return that card to the hand. So if you have a Lady or Lovely on your board, you can actually banish the Big Welcome from your graveyard and out something from your opponent out of nowhere. And that is really, really crucial. Whenever you're playing against Labyrinth, you really want to notice, okay, do they have a level 8 on board? And if so, is there a Big Welcome in graveyard? Because now you have to out a level 8 or get rid of the Big Welcome before you can even start playing. Next, we have Triple Solemn Judgment. I think Solemn Judgment is really important because a lot of people are, I think, going to be playing evenly matched Duster and so forth. And the Heavy Trap variant cannot deal with those cards quite as well as the Furniture one can. So for that reason, Solemn Judgment. And then finally, we have our package of stupid Floodgates. They're all at 1. Obviously, if I could, I would play Triple Skill Drain. If I could, I would maybe play more of the other ones, but we can't. So now we're just playing the 1-1-1. It definitely weakens the Floodgate version of the deck right here, but I think this is still very, very playable. Now for the extra deck, again, this is not optimal. In an ideal scenario, you have Ntss. Ntss can be sent off Dogmatica Punishment to start popping stuff. You would also want Bucephalus. This right here says that it can send a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast from your extra deck to the graveyard, and it has 3,500 attack. You can send this from your extra with punishment to out literally anything, and then with its effect, you can send Garura to draw a card, which is very relevant very often. But again, it's so much UR material, and I'm already playing Extravagance. So whenever I resolve Extravagance, I'm randomly gonna be banishing these. I'm gonna feel really bad about it. So in an ideal scenario, I would play 3 Bucephalus, I would play 3 Ntss, I would play 3 Garura, and the deck would be so much better, but that is so much UR material, so I didn't find it worth it. Instead, I'm using these budget options, so maybe that's interesting to you. First of all, Skull Knight right here says, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one monster on the field, destroy it. So you can send this with punishment, kill something with 2,400 or less, and then afterwards in your own turn still out something. That can come up. If you want to be really budget, you can use Skull Wagon. This says you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one spell/trap on the field, destroy it. Once again, out stuff that way. This is particularly good against Tearlaments because if they have their Perlerino, which can pop your Floodgates, now you can actually out a Perlerino with just this one card. Then we have our one Garura. Again, I wish it was more. This can be sent to the graveyard to draw a card. So if you send it with punishment, we draw a card and that might get you into the engine or the non-engine you need. Then we have, I mean, don't take this seriously. I have Cyber End Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. They have high attack, so you can out anything with punishment. Of course, just stick to the Blue Eyes Ultimates or even the 5-headed dragon that you got for free. Where is he? There we go. I mean, we can cut the 5. We can cut these two. Bada beam, bada boom. It's really the same thing. Just high attack for punishment. But again, in an ideal scenario, you have the Bucephalus. Then we have this Myriologic Aggregator. This thing is actually really good. So this thing says, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. So you can actually send this with punishment and then randomly negate another card on the field as well. And this is only an SR, so this is very, very worth it. That's why it's at 3 for me. I have one Lingaribo, just in case they Ibli lock me. And then I just have some random links that I might make. But again, they're not that great. The best cards are the Garura, Ntss, Bucephalus, Aggregator, and so forth, just to have those solid punishment targets. But yeah, that is the deck I'm running right now. If you have tested Labyrinth on Master Duel and you figured some cool stuff out, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And now let's check out that replay. So given that with a trap deck, I can't really do a combo tutorial because it would just be set. just pass and then wait for my opponent to do something. And if it's a bot, it doesn't really work. We're just gonna do a quick game against someone. Okay, so we're against Exosister. We will max C right here. Let's see if they have an Ash for that. Ooh, it looks like they might be able to chain something. Called by the grave. Very, very sad, but that's okay. We are playing Labyrinth. We can do anything we want in life. Exosister is pretty tough because they can do like these targeted little boop, boop, boop while we set, so that's not that great, but it should be fine. We'll see. Surely this pot of extravagance will go really hard. As you saw in the extra deck, we have a lot of just garbage to send with pot of extrav because in the trap heavy build, your extra just almost never matters. It's just fodder, really. So they're now gonna pop off and we're just gonna vibe while they do that. Okay, so we draw for turn. Let us see. So they have this thingy, which is like graveyard, anti, and then they have the 2 sets. Okay, so we're just going to start with our pot of extravagance. And we're always taking 6 in this deck. We don't need our extra anyway. It's mostly punishment targets, and we have enough punishment targets, so it should be fine. Oh, they have an Ash? They don't. Okay. Oh, we got evenly. We got evenly. So we are going to battle phase. And we are going to end of battle phase. We will activate evenly matched, and that completely blows out the Exo deck. Yeah, this must be tough. Oh, they are playing cross outs, and they have their 1 cross out to stop my evenly. Really? This is what we're doing now. Wow, that is great. Dimension shifter. Oh, okay. Whoo. Whoa. For a second, I thought they were gonna cross out call evenly, but instead they're just doing dimension shifter. Okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. I thought I was playing against a Giga Chad, but I guess not. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this hand goes hard against them. We don't even have engine, which is an issue. You know, ideally we want to have some engine, but we didn't draw it. That's probably like the main issue in the trap variant. Like, if you have too many normal traps and no engine, then you feel bad. And if you have too many engine and not enough normal traps, then you also feel bad. So you always need to find like a combination, and that can hurt. So we're gonna set, and we're gonna set. This is Yu-Gi-Oh at its finest. Truly peak Yu-Gi-Oh right here. Okay, we drew a card, activate a card or effect. No, we're gonna wait a little bit, you know? We want to wait until they commit into a play, and then we want to flip the D barrier. Let's see what we still have. Do we still have Garura? Yes, but this is not big enough to deal with this. I really want to draw a card into some engine here. Add 1 Exosister monster from your deck to your hand. No. We're not doing that. We're just going to D barrier. Boom, D barrier, and we're going to call Xyz. Bada bim, bada boom. Yep. Bye. Okay. This is before the end of the main phase. Activate the effect. I mean, they can't make a Zeus anyway. Do I care? Do I want a punishment? I don't think so. I want them to commit into like a normal, maybe, to punishment Garura draw a card. Maybe that's greedy. Maybe I'm being extremely greedy. That's possible. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels so bad to nuke this 0 material thing just for 2.3 damage. I mean, sure, it turns on some stuff to have like exo names on board and stuff, but I don't know. Then again, if I punishment this now... Oh no, I can't even send Skullwagon. Skullwagon isn't big enough. Nah, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it, I think. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna wait for them to do something more useful. Okay, so now we are drawing a card. Gozen. No, this is the worst card in this situation. I don't even want to set this. Yeah, Gozen is awful in this matchup. I'm just going to pass again, I think. Yeah, this is yikes. So in this current build, again, I don't know what the final profile is going to be. Playing 2 Ariane, 2 Heavenly Lord, Prison, and so forth, because I'm trying to have like a combination of stuff. Maybe we want a little more engine. The issue is if we play more engine and we start drawing all engine and no traps, then you also don't feel great in this kind of build. So I'm just going to wait here. Gonna let them commit into the Marta, and now we Torrential Tribute. Yes. Yeah, that's right. See, now we're playing truly peak Yu-Gi-Oh right here. Oh, no, I don't want a Solemn, but I do want a punishment here. I really think this is their normal. We already got rid of their Marta. We kill this with a Garura to draw a card. By sending the Garura here, we can hopefully Hopefully we can now get, you know, our engine live. So we Garura into engine. Oh, they have an Ash for that? Called by on Garura. Really? Do I solemn that? Are we that down bad? You know what? Fuck it. We're solemning that. I'm dumb. I desperately need engine, and I'm not gonna let them take that engine away from me. But this is extremely greedy. Don't do this, obviously. Oh, but now we have engine. So, you know, who's really the idiot here? Okay, so we have engine and a D barrier into Exosister. I think we're doing pretty well. Okay, they're ending the turn. Yep. Okay, now we draw a card. Maybe we now draw engine on top. Wow, we did. Yeah, see this? Now, luckily we have D-barrier, but now you get into the issue of, oh, I have so much engine. This feels bad, right? Okay, so we're going to Prospe. Can we do 6? I guess we'll do 6. Select cards to banish. We're always banishing the random links first, because really we're not using those. We can do a wagon, and then maybe a Blue Eyes Ultimate as well. Blue Eyes Ultimate, I mean, it's just big attack for punishment, but who cares, right? So we Prospe. Skill Drain, not useful. Lovely, not useful. Lady, pretty useful. Shifter, welcome. Yeah, we're going for welcome here 100% of the time. So we are taking the welcome labyrinth. Yep, we're gonna be shuffling anyway. Okay, so now we set, and we set, and we set. Wow, riveting gameplay, right? And we pass. So now we want to activate the welcome, then activate the big welcome, do some plays that way. We are going to activate welcome. Yes. And here we're gonna go for Ariane. Yep, and she's gonna activate her effect to get us Lady to our hand. Yep. Then we're going to activate Big Welcome to get Lovely out. And we're going to bounce the Ariane. And then Lovely is going to see that and going to rip a card from their hand, which is really solid because they are, you know, top decking. And we got the Marta. Get fucked, buddy. So now we special summon Lady right here. And we do nothing. Because now, if they take an action, we're going to chain D-barrier and then chain her. And then she can set a trap. And I mean, we are rolling now, right? Like, now we auto-win, basically. Because we have the Ariane anyway. So she can get us into even more engine. Raigeki! Raigeki! Really? Okay, fuck that shit. We're gonna go D-barrier. We're gonna call Ntss. Wow, what a top deck. And then we're going to chain Lady Labyrinth. She's gonna set a card. And in this case, I think we're gonna go for welcome. Yeah, we just want more engine. Wow, Raigeki, that is so funny. Wow. Okay. So there she goes. And then they're done. Because we activate welcome next turn, normal summon, GG, no re. So that was all for today. Hope you found this interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.